many dreams, books, millionaires, ideas, skills, unfinished accomplishments are in the grave. Take a moment and think, what am I doing between the dash? You have to move right now because tomorrow is not promised. Join the Divine Connections movement in a couple of ways. 1, download the app for free. 2, subscribe to Divine Connections magazine. 3, if you have a book, a product, a service, gospel music, business, health and wellness product, church, or anything creative, join the Divine Connections Movement VIP and make a commitment to join a network that supports others, give you major exposure, customer retention, and customer engagement. To find out more about VIP, text 336-338-8903 or email divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com.
Divine Connection Marketing is a 500 Fortune company that can always connect you to the right connection. Check them out.
Businesses all across the planet are looking to make connections with people. Well, guess what? Divine Connections Magazine is helping businesses not only walk in their purpose and passion, but to get connected to their potential. That's right. You've got to connect to your potential, and you can make it happen now because it is time to know your worth. As you get connected to people all across the planet, Divine Connections Magazine will make it happen. And get featured in the magazine today and get your copy now, because there's no other time than a divine time to get connected to Divine Connections Magazine.
Well, welcome. Great day, everyone. I am your host, CEO of Divine Connections. We are a faith-based and inspirational magazine that comes out quarterly in print as well as online. We connect with different businesses, entrepreneurs, gospel artists, praise dance, moms, vendors, anyone that's doing something great in the community. And so if you would like to advertise your business or your organization in the next issue, definitely let us know. You can text 336-338-8903 or email us at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com. And then twice a year, we host 2 events, one at the end of March, which is my anniversary. We just celebrated 13 years of Divine Connections. We had a men's panel talking about mental health, life, and challenges. We had quartet groups, we had moms, vendors, and sponsors, and everybody came together to network and worship. And so our next big event is going to be October 14th, Saturday at 11 a.m. at the 11th Arts Center. It's called Bring It. So we're bringing different organizations and ministries together to celebrate and give God all the glory, and to support our different ministries, our different entrepreneurs, and to share with you different ministries as well. So we got our praise dancers, we have our mimes, we have our vendors, and we have our youth vendors as well. And so we also are looking for sponsors. So if you want to support an awesome event like that, we have that option as well, and a couple of more vendor spots. So I do sponsors with vendorship as well. And so if you want to know more about that, go ahead and text or email me, and I can get you more information. And then on Wednesdays, we have our podcast here live 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. where we share with you who people are and what they do. And they'll also provide contact information so they can so you can contact them as well. So we love making connections. Also, we have our store is now up, Divine Connections Store. It's bit.ly/Divine Connection Store. We have our apparel, we have our shirts, we have hoodies, we have hats, we have socks, we have pillows, we have leggies, we have jackets, or we have vests, a lot of product. We have over 100 items in our store. So do me a big favor, go to bit.ly/divine connections store and get you some divine connections apparel or whatever item that you see that you like. Okay, we would love that. And so we're grateful for that. Then we also have an app. So now our app is out as well. So we're on the phones. You can download our app, Divine Connections Magazine, from your Google Store or your Apple Store as well. And on the app, we have ambassadors. Ambassadors are experts in their lane that have different resources and connections, and we market their business as well. And you can talk to them one on one. You can just also create a profile, tell people who you are and what you do on there as well. So go download the app. It is Divine Connections Magazine. So excited about all the opportunity that God has given us. All right, so now let me share with you. First, we want to go to our sponsors and let you know what they're doing. Hold tight.
The bad news is suicides rise again in the U.S., increases highest among Black people ages 10 to 24. People need hope. The good news is hope is on the way. Join Mothers in Crisis Hope Pass It On campaign. Please visit makeahopeconnection.com. Hope, pass it on, and save a life.
Hope, pass it on and save a life. That is our sponsors. And so I can show you also how to be a sponsor on this program. Okay. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But let me share with you right quick. I'll again mark the date for October 14th. All right. Saturday at 11 a.m. at the Mebane Arts Center. I have people coming in from Augusta, Georgia, from Maryland, from South Carolina, all over from North Carolina, praise dance groups, moms, vendors, gospel step teams, spoken word. I'm so excited about it. So you want to be in the house. So if you want to be a sponsor/vendor, let us know. We only have 9 spots left. Of course, you wanted to attend. That's only $5. You can do that as well. So we're bringing the community together to make it happen. But let me share with you what happened our last October event, which is going to be similar, bigger, and better this time. But check it out. Awesome, awesome. So we are getting ready to make it happen. Make sure you are at the next event. And then I want to share with you just a little bit of what is in our store, just so you can get a visualization of it. Check it out. Awesome, 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 awesome. So you don't want to miss that. Again, mark the date, Saturday, October 14th, this event. And I think I want to do is once people buy apparel and they get to come to the event, we'll do like a little fashion show. So you can walk down the aisle with whatever apparel you get from the Divine Connection store. Okay. So definitely keep that in mind as well. All right. So let's move forward. How do you stay connected with Divine Connections? Go to our website, divineconnectionsmagazine.com. Join our email list. And that way you'll get updates and news. We also have our Facebook page, Divine Connections Marketing. We also have our Instagram page, Divine Connections. And we have our YouTube channel, The Divine Connections. Make sure you click on the notification button there as well after you subscribe. So then you'll be notified every time we're on, whether we're doing interviews, live events, so you can continue to make it happen and spread the good news and see what we have going on with Divine Connection. So listen, if you have not gotten your copy of Divine Connections magazine. It is here and available for you. A lot of resources, a lot of connections. We have Open Door Ministry, that's in High Point. They deal with helping men and veterans and a lot of resources. All of my men's panel that were different ministers and different organizations. All of the information is in here. All right, all of my Quartet groups, all of my vendors, sponsors, all of their information is in here. So I want to encourage you, go ahead and get a copy. It's only $12. But when you go to the website and you want to click on hard copies, you can get more than one. They're just $12 each. Just change the quantity. That way you can share it with your community, your churches, your organizations, your barbershops, your hairstylists, and all of that, and continue to help us get the word out. You never know what resource that you need or someone else need that is close to you. All right. So the website is divineconnectionsmagazine.com/subscriptions. And we also have the digital copy as well. All right. So sponsorship. So you just saw one of our sponsors, and we have a couple of more sponsorship left. So if you have a 30-second commercial for your business and your organization upon approval, and if you're a good fit for this program, we would do a 3-month agreement for 150 and run your 30-second commercial as well. So we can continue to push you out there to different audiences to let people know who you are and what you do. So if you would like to be a sponsor and upon approval, I would love to connect with you so we can talk about that as well. Now, if you need a 30-second or a 60-second commercial for your business, we customize in that as well. That is one of the services, and we would love to serve you. So if you have a business, a ministry, a book, a gospel group, or an event that you would like a custom 30-second or 60-second commercial, we got you. All right. So just touch bases with us as well. All right. So my second book is now available. It is called The Key Connector: How to Build an Empire Helping People. So if you want to know how I do what I do with the help of the Lord, individual life as well as business, get the books. All of my information is in there. All right. It's also on Amazon. It is also on Walmart.com. It is also in Next Chapter Bookstore in Greensboro, North Carolina. Go check it out in Friendly Shopping Center. And or you can order it from me and I'll send you a signed copy. So I love getting the word out there. If you want to know how I do what I do, get connected, get your book. And another journal that is out at the Next Chapter Bookstore is my journal. It's called Making It Happen. You Are a Divine Connection, because you are, whether youth, whether you're adult, whether a teenager, even a senior citizen, or we call them seasoned saints, okay, or the elderly. You are divine connections. Making it happen. You are divine connections. You write the vision, make it plain, execute, and then we celebrate. All right. And then you can use this to look back at what God has done for you over time in your life. There's great things He has in store for you. Okay. And then don't forget to go to our app. Listen, download it. It's Divine Connections Magazine. Just type it in Google or Android users. It's there for you. And don't forget to go to our store, bit.ly, Divine Connection Store. We have product, okay? So go check it out. All right, so that's enough for Divine Connections. Now for our special guest that is in the house making big things happen. Dedrick Moone is in the house. So let us bring him in so he can share with you who he is and what he's doing in the community.
Hey, Dolores. Thanks for
Hey,
having
how
me.
are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Doing well, doing well. Glad to have you here, sir.
Happy to
Thank
be
you for
here.
coming. Wonderful, wonderful. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Sure. Well, I'm bald, as you guys can see, but even though I'm bald, I'm actually a man of many hats. So,
Mhm,
where to begin? I'm a keynote speaker. I'm a editor, an author, a children's book reviewer.
mhm.
Um, but most of all, oh, I'm sorry, I'm also a small business owner through a,
Okay.
through a partnership with my 15-year-old daughter, Haley. Our business is
Nice.
called the Rules of a Big Boss LLC. But
Mhm,
most of all, I'm a dad. And
mhm.
second to that, I am a girl dad. And third to that, I'm somebody's husband. So that describes me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, you definitely wear many hats. So what? Let's see what we're gonna start with. What would you like to start with, and give us a little detail about what you're doing?
Well, I guess it's already laid it out there, so I can share a backstory.
Okay.
So my daughter is 15 years old now. When she was 12, she came to me and she told me that she wanted to write a book.
Mhm.
And she wrote a book, and it was called The Rules of the Big Boss, a book of self-love.
Mhm.
And after she wrote and we published that book, she said something to the effect of that she wanted to one day start her own business and own clothing company.
Mhm.
And I told her, "You're not too young to start now. If you would really want to do this, you can start now." She said, "Ask me to explain."
Mhm.
I told her then, "Haley, what you do is you use your clothing and accessories to broadcast and promote your book, and you use your book to broadcast your clothing and accessories. So
Mhm.
it gives you a 365-degree scope of your
Mm.
messaging or whatever." And she said, "Oh, that sounds fun, but how do we do that?" And I said, "I don't know, but we can figure it out together."
Yeah.
So from there, I was like, okay, let me do some research or whatever, because we already have the book out. The next thing we need to do is we need to actually come up with a name for the company. We actually need to found it. We need to basically listen up with the state. We need to come up with a logo, a mission, a vision, and we need to trademark all of that. And then
Mhm.
once we begin to do those things and get those things in place, we could then start to produce additional content and additional materials or whatever with that brand on it saying, hey, your company produced this and your company produced that. So
Mhm.
after she published that first book, people was like, hey, I couldn't believe that a 12-year-old could do this. You know,
Yeah.
CEO of her own company and having a book out and a book that's really good, you
Mhm.
know, where's your dad at during this time? And at this time I wasn't married. So they're
Mhm.
like, where's your dad? Or where's your parents? And she was like, oh, he's over there in the background. Well, Dad, can you come talk to us for a little bit?
Mhm.
So when they would invite me to the stage, they would ask me all type of different questions or whatever, like, what were your thoughts when she was going through this? Or what were your thoughts as she was doing this, that, and the third or whatever? And I would share. And
Mhm.
so people would say, dude, you need to write a book. And I
Mhm.
no, I'm not ready for that. This is a state project. This isn't something that I want to do right now. And they was
Mhm.
like, but the story is so good. What you're sharing with us is great. You need to write a book and, you know, write it for the world. And I said, again, no, that's something that I plan on doing much later down the road when my daughter's older. It's
Mhm.
a project of mine. And my initial plan was that I would give her the story. I will let her
Mhm.
just write it for me and I will let her own it. And that
Mhm.
was basically going to be like my fatherhood journey of growing up in a single parent home, and how it's going to detail all of the pains and traumas and everything and ordeals that I went through. And
Mhm.
after it was going to say, all of this came out for good. What I thought was for my bad, God had another plan. I
Mhm.
to suffer so that I could bless the generation and generations that were behind me, which is in my daughter.
Yeah.
So I ended up becoming a single parent myself and having sole custody of her from the time that she was 3 years old to 12 years old.
Mhm.
So after a bunch of ribbon and pushing, I said, okay, I'll go ahead and do it. But I have to get permission from my daughter. And I said, in getting permission, I was like, you're going to have to help me write this. And plus, I'm afraid I need to lean on you to find
Mhm.
the courage to be able to write this book or whatever. So she
Mhm.
said, Dad, let's do it. So I said, okay, fine, cool, great. So ended up writing this first book. I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but it's called The Unexpected Journey Fire and Gold. So
Okay.
that book goes in, and it was my first published book, and it basically describes the journey that she and I have gone through with, fighting the school system, being a single parent, dealing with bullying and things that she experienced or whatever, having to fight the systems in play in the school system, workplace harassment, and all of those things. And the whole premise behind the book is saying, look at all that we went through. Despite everything that we went through, we still survived. We came out in fire like me, Shadrach, and Abednego. We
Mhm.
were in a fiery furnace, but we didn't burn. We
Right.
came and we came out fine, and we came out purified and better, but it was hard. And the whole premise of the message is always hold on to hope, always hold on to God's unchanging hand, and
Mm-hmm.
he will bring you through it. And when he brings you through it, you might
That's
be
right.
a little bit beat up, you might be a little bit scarred, but you're ultimately going to be better. And it
Mm-hmm.
also talks about the mistakes that I made along the way, particularly with respect to the bullying and things of that nature, and my missteps or whatever. And it kind of gives parents a guideline saying, hey, this is what I should have done, these are the mistakes that I made or whatever. And each chapter concludes with like a spiritual message or whatever to say, hey, look to the best, look to the Bible for this or whatever. So that's the premise behind that. So
Mm-hmm.
after we released that book, it's like, okay, we started doing like you guys with Divine Connections, where she started designing her own clothing or whatever and branding it under the premise of her clothing line. I'm sorry, under the premise of the rules of the big boss. And then
Mm-hmm.
from that point, we started producing other books or whatever. So she, even though she's 15, she has produced, sorry, I shouldn't say produced, published 4 books of her own.
Okay.
I have published three.
Mhm.
I'm currently in the process of working on another one, and she is actually working on 2 more.
Okay.
And in that time, we've also helped other would-be authors publish their books as well. And just helping them from a content management perspective, putting their books together, getting their thoughts together, and putting them all on paper or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we do. So everything that we do is centered around trying to give people some hope, some encouragement, and some upliftment. And that's extremely needed, particularly in this political climate that we're in, and also to the climate where we're in, where it seems like Black voices and brown voices are more marginalized.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. 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 So, how can people get your information about the books?
So about the books, that's a great question. So the easiest way to find the books is just going to our website, which is thebookofselflove.com.
Okay.
And thebookofselflove.com will serve as an anchor that will point you to all of my social medias and all of the different places that you can go to get the books, and places online and places in person. So in person, as you mentioned earlier, you guys should go to Greensboro and go into Ben's Boys, which is located at 2711. I forgot the address, but it's in Freely Shopping Center.
Yeah.
You could go there and you can find all of our books in there. You could also, if you're down here in Raleigh, North Carolina, you can pick up our books at Styles Plus Salon or whatever. And they
Okay.
can, of course, be found on Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of places. But again, the website will point you to those anchors at the different places that you can pick them up. And our books are also available for don't we understand that everyone can afford books,
Mm-hmm.
books or whatever. So we partnered with different libraries or whatever throughout North Carolina, Maryland, Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania, and so on and so forth to ensure that our books are there. Because
Nice.
while you can't afford to purchase a book, you can afford a library card.
Mm-hmm.
So that being the case, you can go into the libraries in Durham, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Greensboro, and you can find a lot of our books there on the shelves as well.
Nice. Awesome. That's a unique feature when you can put them actually in the library.
Thank you.
I love that. I love that. And so, what else do you do? You do books, and what else?
Um, Clothing design, I really keep my hands off of that. I let my daughter do her thing, and I'm just like, okay, I make sure that it's pictured and photographed and whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
do book reviews, or both my daughter and myself do book reviews or whatever. She generally it's funny because we do them backwards. I'm the children's book reviewer, and she's more of the book reviewer for the chapter books, romance, rom coms, and things of that nature. Because
Mm-hmm.
I just find myself drawn to children's books or whatever because they speak to the child in me, and obviously I'm the sillier one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
So we provide that as a service to people or whatever, and we also put on programming through different nonprofit organizations and also community libraries. And in that aspect, we're trying to basically empower people, uplift them, and encourage them. Like we do different things like vision board parties, paint nights, and things of that nature. So we have our hands in a lot of different areas.
Yeah. When you talk about book reviews, what exactly do you do?
So it's an executive book review. So basically, what I would do is just giving you an example.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, let me back up for a second. So someone will come to me and they'll say, "Hey, Dedrick, can you do this review of my book or whatever?" And I'll say, "Absolutely, sure." So what I'll then do is say, "Okay, I need you to give me a couple of pictures of your book, a couple of pictures of you, and give me the transcript or whatever. Sorry, manuscript." So then I'll review the book or whatever, and I'll say, "Okay, great." Then from that aspect, it's like, "Okay, I'm going to break it down." So I'm going to give you a detailed book review, which could be anywhere from 500 to 2,500 words or whatever. So in that, I'll describe who you are, talk about the book,
Mm-hmm.
what my feelings in reading it, like my feelings in reading it, the impact that reading it had upon me, uh, something funny, if I could find something funny from it or whatever, and then where you could go about purchasing it, and also my award rating. So whether it's 2 stars, 3 stars, 5 stars, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll socialize that on all of my social media platforms. And also, sorry, I shouldn't say my. We will socialize it on all of our social media platforms and also on our blog, which is where people can also go to review those book reviews or whatever. And then that book review, you can use that to actually import it within your metadata of your book or whatever, so that when it's actually presented on Barnes and Noble or so on and so forth, it actually shows in the editorial section as opposed to down there with the other reviews or whatever. And also, too, you can use it as back cover material or whatever. So sometimes you'll open up a book and you'll say 5 stars from this company, 5 stars from this reader, 5 stars from this reader, or whatever. So you can use that information to put it in there. It's basically, even though I gave you 500 words or 2,500 words, the important thing is finding the uh, finding the key text. So within that is the catch-all, and that catch-all is the most important thing that the book reviewer says. So that's what you really want to put in there when you're pressed for time or whatever. And that's the material that you take to the libraries or whatever. When you say, "Hey, I want to get my book in the library," here,
Mm-hmm.
show them what this professional book reviewer and author said about your book, or rather, show them also what this author, editor, business owner, and everything said about your book or whatever. So that's how what I end up doing, or rather,
Awesome.
we end up doing.
Yeah. So you do that for other people's books,
Yeah,
the book reviews.
yeah,
Okay.
hmm
Do you teach other people how to do that?
yeah. I taught my daughter, but no, I haven't taught anyone else.
Okay. Awesome.
But no
Awesome.
one is no. I'm sorry. Let me back up for a second. No one has ever asked me to do so outside of her. So at first it was just me offering the service. So
Mm-hmm.
then she said she wanted to do it too, and I said, "Okay, well, I'll teach you." So I
Mm-hmm.
taught her my little process or whatever, and it's all about having fun with it.
Yeah.
Also, and when I post it to my socials, I'll find some type of way of inserting my personality to make it funny and to make it fun or whatever. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not just something stale. So a lot of the times when you see a book review, you'll just see the book cover or whatever, and then the person will put their reviews. I was like, nope, I'll do something silly. Like I might wear a silly mask or something like that, or I might put in a baseball glove or something like that. Whatever comes to mind, I'll say, hey, I'll do this or whatever, and I'll get the author's approval. And I've never had anyone say that
Okay.
they didn't love
Awesome. Awesome. And what else do you do?
it. My honeydew list. But right now, besides that, I'm working on my next book. So my next book is called Joy Comes: A Story of Fatherhood. So
Hmm.
that's going to be a book that's basically catered towards children, sorry, young boys who have grown up without their fathers and things of that life. And it's going to deal with the traumas and everything that they experience and how you grow past those traumas and things. And it's a children's book. So I'm
Hmm.
working on that, and the manuscript is already complete. I'm working with my editor to complete the edits to it, and also with my illustrator to illustrate it or whatever. So working towards that, and my other books have all been converted over to audio books as well. So those are some of the things I do. So hands are
Okay,
on.
that was the next question I was gonna ask. Are your books audio as well?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And then tell us again where they can find your books.
The easiest place to find them is on thebookofselflove.com,
Mm-hmm.
and you can actually purchase from there. And if you purchase from there, of course, you get an autographed copy of the book or whatever. You can also purchase it from Ben's Boys in Greensboro, North Carolina, or Styles Plus Salon in Raleigh. Same thing, the autograph there. You can
Mm-hmm.
also pick them up at several public libraries throughout the United States. The links to those are also on our website, so just go to the website and you'll find that out. And then also you can find them on Books a Million, Barnes and Noble, play pretty much anywhere but books are sold. Oh, and you can also find the audio books on like Spotify, um, Spotify, audiobooks.com, and several other sources. It's about 45 sources. Apple Books, it's
Mm-hmm.
about 45 sources where you can get the audio books. Hoopla.
Okay, so how do you change your physical book to the audio book? Or do
So change it to audio book. The big thing is you have to find someone with a voice that you trust, and you have to find a audio engineer. And with
okay.
that audio engineer, you go to them and say, present your concept to them or whatever, and say, hey, I love your voice or whatever. I would love for you to do an audio book for me. But before you do all that, you have to get to know them, interview them, and everything, and basically make sure that you guys mesh together and make
Right.
sure that they understand the scope of the project or whatever. After they do that, after you do that, you then give them a copy of your manuscript and also your book artwork or whatever, and you convert that over. You tell them what type of voice that you want them to use or whatever, and the things that are important, like, hey, this is where I want you to insert impact and things of that nature, and they
Mm-hmm.
start working on it. And
Okay.
they after they finish working on it or whatever, they'll give you a package that'll contain audio files, and then after you get those audio files, then it's up to you how you want to go about distributing. So you can distribute it through ACX, which is Amazon, or you can distribute it solely from your website. It's entirely up to you. But you just have to take all of that, take that package and upload it to the source where you want it. And then after that, compile it, make sure you enter your keywords and all of the metadata that's associated with it. You have to have an ISBN. Best place to get ISBNs is from Bowker. So, as an author, the best thing to do is the biggest mistake that a lot of would-be authors do is they purchase the ISBNs at once, or they take the free ISBN from Amazon or whatever. Big mistake. When you get the free ISBN from Amazon, Amazon is the publisher of your book, and they control the distribution. When you have
Mm-hmm.
your own, you then become the publisher, and you control your own distribution is and where your book goes and where it doesn't. So with
Mm-hmm.
respect to that singular ISBN, you buy one each is $125. If you buy a package of 10, it's $295. I'm gonna say it again. For one, it's 125. For a package of 10, it's 295. The reason that it's important to get the package of 10 is because then you got your hardcover book, you got your paperback, you got your audio book, you have your ebook. You just used four right there, four ISBNs, and you still have six left. So if you
Mm-hmm.
multiply four times 125, you're at $500. You're
Gotcha.
wasting money and throwing money out the window. Get the
Mm-hmm.
package 10. And also, too, if you join certain literary organizations, you actually get a discount on those packages of 10, sometimes 10%, 50%, 20%, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. All right. And so where do you go to get your ISBN?
Bowker.
Okay.
Sorry, Bowker if you're in the United States. Outside of the United States, there's another place I can't remember the name of it.
It's okay. Awesome. That's good information. Now, do you have it in different languages as well? Is that another option?
It's something that I've considered, but I haven't done it as of yet. I know that's one of the things, and there's a thing that goes around that I've seen for authors, and it says basically, are you a six star author or are you a 4 star? Sorry, are you a 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star, or 6 star author? I'm a four. And the reason I'm a four is because one, our books are not available in other languages as of yet, and it's also not available in American Sign Language. With respect to the American Sign Language, I was like, yeah, that's may or may not be needed
Mhm.
because the audio books takes care of those who have um, visual issues or whatever. But of course, you do have to be able to speak towards those that are auditory. So my big thing is I would actually have it converted into sign language before I would have it a um, converted into a foreign language or whatever. And with the foreign languages, it's like there's so many different languages or whatever, and there's so many different dialects. Like I believe that there are like 10 different versions of Spanish or something to that effect. So it'd be very difficult to get it converted over to Spanish or whatever, because you probably have to get it converted 10 times, and you want to be careful not to offend someone. So my big thing is I would aim for 5 stars
Mhm.
before I would aim for 6. But yes, that is something that's on the horizon, but I just haven't gotten to it yet.
The evaluation of the stars, where is that coming from?
It's just out the code of have you
Okay,
it's basically out the code a checklist.
gotcha.
So one is, do you have it available in multiple formats? So paperback, ebook, hardback, audiobook, so on and so forth. So that's how it ends up breaking down.
Nice. Now, where can somebody get that information from if they wanted to look at that information?
Mm, pretty much, I would say pretty much any literary agency. So all I have to do is just Google it. How many different versions should I have my book in or whatever, and it'll come up.
Okay, awesome.
And
That's
they
good.
can probably find it on Amazon, Ingram Sparks. There's one that's specifically for children's book authors, but I can't think of the name of it right now. I want to say it's SWCHB, I believe, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay, awesome. That's good information. That's a wealth of knowledge right there.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, how people can find you? We know you have the website, but you're also on all social media.
Yeah, for the most part. So DMoon78 is the best way to find me. Just type my name and type the social media platform. So I can be found on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, and Clubhouse. Are the social media platforms I'm on. So DMoon78. I'm not on TikTok. My daughter's banned me from it. She's told me I'm not cool enough to be on TikTok, and that's her playground. So she doesn't want to see me there. So
Mm,
she's on there. I'm not. So I'm adhering to it. The funny thing is, while she's the CEO of the Rules of a Big Boss, I'm the chief operating officer. So it's a 51-49% split. So with her
yeah.
having 51% of stock, I have to follow her lead. So she said, don't get on TikTok. Okay, fine. I won't get on there. I don't know how to use it anyway.
You. Well, I love the relationship that you all have and how you're building together, and how you were able to, take her ideas and her thoughts and put it into action and turn it into a business and then turn it into profit and be creative in it and to expand your distribution. Like I learned a lot just by listening to you. I'm like, wow, that's good stuff. So let's leave with some words of encouragement. Whatever's on your heart, you can share.
So I'm gonna be all over the place because I got a couple of things I like to say.
Okay.
So one, you're never too old and you're never too young. And what I mean by that is it's never too early and it's never too late to start.
That's right.
Give you some examples. I know a 4-year-old that just published a book.
Come on.
My daughter was 12 when she published her first book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was 42 when I published my first book.
Mm-hmm.
I was fearful of publishing my book until my daughter encouraged me.
Mm.
I had to lean on her strength. So what does that mean? That means out of the mouths of babes.
Yes, yes.
I'm going to say that again, out of the mouths of babes. So trust these children. They're
Hmm.
more resilient, they're more talented than we could ever think of.
Yeah.
We grew up in a world where we knew about glass ceilings. These babies are growing up in a world where glass ceilings have been long since shattered. So
Mm-hmm.
trust them, listen to them, and you can conquer the world with
Hmm.
them in tow. And also, too, don't never give up on your dream.
That's right.
All you have to do is write it out, make it plain, and write it out, make it plain, envision it happen, do the work. Simple
Mhm.
as that. And also, finally, trust God in all things. Don't
Mhm.
ever operate in fear.
That's right.
Fear means two things. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise.
Come on. I like
Shadrach and Abednego. That the was Nebuchadnezzar wanted to throw them into the fire, and he lit it. Was it 7 times hotter, or it was 3 times hotter? But
hmm
they walked through that fire, and they walked out purified as gold. Again, here, face everything and rise.
I like that. I like that. I like that. And we're gonna end with that. That's a powerful statement right there. Face everything and rise. Awesome. Dedrick, thank you for coming on today. Hold tight. We're gonna go to some commercials and we'll be right back. But listen, y'all make sure y'all stay connected. That's some good stuff right there. I am Deloris Williams with Divine Connections. Make sure you stay connected to the number one divine connector, which is Jesus Christ. So hold tight, Mr. Dedrick, and we'll be right back.
All right, sounds good.
Hey, we've got exciting news from Divine Connections Marketing Services. Now you can create your own custom video commercial for your business or organization. It's time for you to win. Your product or service is someone's solution. So get the attention of your potential customers now. Choose from a 30 or 60-second commercial today. Just email us at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com and we can get started. Connect today and let's get started making your custom video commercial now. Divine Connections Magazine. Get major exposure for your business. Is someone looking for your service? Do you need networking? Are you a gospel artist or a ministry? Do you have a major event that you want to promote? Divine Connections Magazine has the solution for you. We can distribute to residents, businesses, churches, and online. Don't miss this opportunity to expand your marketing locally and around the world. Find out more about us at divineconnectionsmagazine.com. Get your spot in the next issue of Divine Connections Magazine by emailing us for details at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com.
Make sure to like us on Facebook at Divine Connections Marketing. Follow us on Instagram at Divine Connections.
Let's get it started now.